Something deeply funny about the girls that watch like vampire movies and vampire series when they were.
I suppose it is funny. I have recently rewatched all of Buffy the Vampire Slayer in anticipation of supposedly a reboot coming out next year, and I'm excited about that idea. But this notion that the Vampire Girlies, those of us who grew up with the supernatural movies and television, having now changed which characters we have a little crush on, it's funny, but is it also not kind of sad that that's viewed as funny? I direct us to the excellent video making of Hannah Fry. If folks don't follow Hannah Fry, please do. I think she's great. She makes wonderful videos. And I had a daydream once upon a time of crafting my own PhD at Edinburgh. So there's a little bit of my own fantasy world going on there. As I studied ancient history and dead languages once upon a time, I used to be a qualified Bible translator. That was a thing I did. Hannah Fry made a video about a year ago based on data that was collected from dating websites, particularly OkCupid, and a book called Dataclysm by Christian Reuter. And in this data collection, in which OkCupid got a lot of data from their users in a way that is maybe not a good idea, but they did it anyway. And it's all very heteronormative data. This is not including the queer community at all. So purely hetero relationships. We can see a couple of graphs that result from the data. If you think about a simple XY axis with perhaps the youngest age in the lower corner, maybe starting at age 20, and the oldest age start at the very ends of the lines. Let's put the age at 80. So from 20 to 80. And on one axis is the age of the woman, and other axis is the age of the man. And we gather data about who women are attracted to at what age. Then we get a perfectly diagonally cut in half sandwich, okay? That line goes pretty steadily along. Now, there are a little bit of variations to be found. So younger women tend to prefer men that are a couple of years older. Older women tend to prefer men that are a couple of years younger, considering how much longer we live in our old age as people with typically functioning female bodies. That makes sense. Yeah, okay, but it's generally this pretty straight diagonal line. Now, can anybody guess? Can anybody guess what the line looks like, what the graph looks like for men who are attracted to women? Anybody guess? It's a straight line. It's a straight line. No matter how old the man is, 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. Straight line. Women are around, the age of like 25-ish. Yeah. I started to be really in person hit on by men by around the age of 13. So it's very sad, but I'm not talking about being catcalled. That's different. It's sad that I have to differentiate this, but most young girls before they hit puberty have already been catcalled. Plenty. Being yelled at on the sidewalk, yelled at by passing cars. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a man coming up to you in person and offering to buy you a drink or trying to get your phone number. That started happening to me around the age of 13, and having to repeatedly explain to people, as someone who ended up in a very grown-up looking body really fast, having to explain to people, I'm 13. I'd be babysitting. I walked some children to the park for a couple of dollars an hour and having people tell me how well behaved my children look. Oh my goodness. And I remember once I was babysitting this family who had a little adopted 2-year-old daughter from China. And these folks at the park were asking me about the adoption process and how difficult that was. and giving me the typical, like, oh, you're so brave, you're so kind, like, what a white savior you are. And me having to repeatedly say, I am 13 years old. I would have had to adopt this child at age 11. She's 2.5. I'm 13. These are not my children. Um, and all of that is to say, for the past 30 something years, I have experienced the intense attraction towards me from a particular age group. Men in their late 50s into their late 70s have been the most consistent, aggressive, repeated men to hit on me at every age. Now, men who are younger, in their teens, 20s, 30s, have hit on me less and less and less and less, as is age appropriate, but also because as I move further and further away from age 25, the number of men who still consider me an attractive prospect gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And as I approach now in my early 40s, heading towards that age group, men in their 50s, 60s, 70s, becoming my peers, I am finding myself traumatized. Because that group, not because I'm being ageist, but that group has been the most gross group of my life, who have been hitting on me since I was 13 years old. It's deeply sad. I am troubled with the idea of dating in my late 40s, in my 50s, because I don't know if I can handle it. I don't know if I can handle that kind of trauma. But then I remember, oh yeah, surprise, surprise, I date everyone. I don't have to date men in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. So I shan't. And life experience, really. I mean, when I look back on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I was the target audience. I was a teenage young person living as a girl. And it was fantastic to have a superheroine targeted at me. That was great. Now I'm also very white. So that also means I was part of the target audience, as that was a very white cast, was it not? And would I now look back and remember fondly noticing what a beautiful young person David Boreanaz was playing Angel? Yeah, I remember that fondly. Did I have a crush on Angel? No, thank God. Remember Tara in the desert as the translator for the first Slayer? Okay, I'm back. I might fondly remember little crushes I had on characters when I was a teenager, but I don't experience that now because I'm an adult. I'm an adult. And I've dated the sad boy. Oh, I'm the saddest boy in the world. None has ever had the deep sorrows that I have, like Angel. That was a fun character, but I've dated that kind of person. That kind of person is a nightmare. That kind of person is a selfish psychopath. No, I don't want to date the tortured young sad boy. I've done that. It was horrible. I nearly married him. Oh. So, of course, I watch Buffy now and say, oh, I'm age appropriate to Giles. Well done, Anthony Stewart Head. Please do speak Latin in front of the books. I too have studied dead languages now. You do the Latin, I'll do the Hebrew. We'll have a great time. So to men who date women, are you seriously still crushing on the same television and film characters that you did when you were 19 years old? Seriously? I'm not talking about a fond memory of our youth. I'm talking about now, in your human being self, right now. Seriously? Ugh. Now, did I immediately know that Assad Zaman's character in Interview with the Vampire, before I understood the Rashid Armand reveal, did I immediately know that was going to be the most treacherous character in Interview with the Vampire? Because I immediately went, oh. Uh-oh, I'm into this. That means that character is treacherous. Yep. Yeah, that was a sad moment for me. Assad Zaman did a great job. Fantastic acting. Yeah.